I'll never forget the night I stumbled upon the darkness that lurks in those woods. It was a typical Friday evening, and my friends had convinced me to join them on a camping trip. We arrived at the campsite just as the sun was setting, casting a warm orange glow over the trees. As we set up our tents, the sounds of the forest grew louder, and I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. I tried to brush it off as mere paranoia, but the sensation only intensified as night began to fall. As we sat around the campfire, swapping scary stories and trying to freak each other out, I kept catching glimpses of movement out of the corner of my eye. At first, I thought it was just a stray animal or a branch swaying in the wind. But then I saw it. A pair of eyes staring back at me from the darkness. They were low to the ground, and they seemed to be watching me with an unblinking intensity. I spun around to face my friends, but they were all engaged in their own conversations, oblivious to the terror that was unfolding just beyond the ring of light. I tried to convince myself it was just my imagination, but as the night wore on, the eyes drew closer. I could feel a presence lurking just beyond the tree line, its eyes fixed on me with an unnerving hunger. The fire crackled and spat, casting eerie shadows on the trees, and I began to feel like I was being slowly pulled into the darkness. It was then that I heard the rustling of leaves, the snapping of twigs, and the sound of heavy breathing. Whatever was out there was moving, circling around us, and closing in. My friends were too caught up in their own laughter and chatter to notice, but I knew I had to get out of there. I grabbed my flashlight and told them I needed to take a walk to clear my head. As I stumbled into the darkness, the beam of my light danced across the trees, illuminating the twisted underbrush and the looming shadows. I walked for what felt like hours, but the darkness seemed to be growing thicker, more oppressive. The eyes were still out there, watching me, and I could feel their gaze like a weight on my skin. And then, I stumbled upon a clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient, twisted tree, its branches like skeletal fingers reaching towards the sky. The eyes were watching me from the base of the tree, and as I approached, I saw that they belonged to a creature unlike any I had ever seen. It was hunched and twisted, its body a mass of dark, scaly flesh, and its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light. The creature didn't move, didn't twitch. It just kept watching me with an unblinking stare. I tried to scream, but my voice was frozen in my throat. The creature began to rise, its body unfolding like a dark, twisted flower. As it stood, its eyes never left mine, and I felt my mind begin to unravel. I tried to run, but my legs were rooted to the spot. The creature took a step closer, its hot breath washing over me, and I felt my sanity begin to slip. And then, everything went black. When I came to, I was lying on the forest floor, my head throbbing with pain. The creature was nowhere to be seen, but the eyes were still watching me, lurking just beyond the tree line. I stumbled back to the campsite, my mind reeling with terror. My friends were still sitting around the campfire, laughing and chatting as if nothing had happened. But as I looked into the flames, I saw the creature's eyes staring back at me, burning with an otherworldly intensity. I knew then that I had to get out of those woods, to escape the darkness that lurked within. But as I turned to flee, I felt a hand on my shoulder, and I heard a voice whispering in my ear, "You'll never leave these woods alive."